Okay, so I made this very scrap wood joint here. And what it was is two of the mixing sticks. And everything was used for mixing at one point. And a skewer, right? And I measured out what would be the closest size drill bit to the skewer. You don't want to go too big, so start smaller and get bigger if you need to. But you'll need it to pass through these fairly easily. And so what you do is you take it, you put it through the one section of leg, which of course now I just made this one bigger and it broke it. And this has been happening occasionally, but again, they're scrap ones, so not too big of a deal. Then do this piece that goes in the middle and push it through one more. See how nice and tight they are when you start. They get looser, which you don't really want. And there you go. That's the 3. All right, and then this is going to go on an axle on the top. But last thing we need to do is trim this right here. And then I'll tell you how I messed up the other one. So I just take my wire cutters, because these skewers are not that tough, and get in there as close as I can and clip. And then you'll see that'll go little movements. All right, I'll just move a tiny bit and hold this position. We'll see how much weight it holds later, but I mean, it holds a position, which is fantastic for a joint for stop animation or posing. And then what I screwed up with this one was I tried to crush it to cap it off, and it wound up making the holes a little bigger. And that's partly because that piece is cracked. So what I'm probably going to wind up doing is disassembling this one real quick, putting a tiny bit of white glue. Well, I don't know. It depends on what I'm going to be using it for, honestly. It still makes fairly small movements. And these are all scrap. And then I'm going to put an axle through the top piece here and make feet that connect here so that you can have those kind of AT walkers, or what is it? ATST walkers, where the foot kind of Ed 209 foot, where it flops here. It's got some motion for terrain. But there you go. These cost, you can basically say nothing, because the pieces were used and then cut, and then they'll be painted again. All right, so that's the most simple action figure inspired joint I could come up with.